Good evening.
Sometimes I have questions.
We'll start off with Mr. Smasino. Will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Mr. Wood and Ms. Stevens are not in attendance tonight. First, the minutes approval from December 19, 2024. Any comments or questions? All right, may I have a motion to approve the meeting minutes from December 19, 2024?
So moved.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you.
Mr. Smasino,
Yep.
Mr. Akari,
Yes.
Mr. Quillen,
Yes.
Chairman Terhune.
Yes. Next, may I have a motion to approve moving the zoning board meeting from November 27th to November 20th, 2025? Second.
Oh, I second the motion.
Perfect.
Mr. Smasino,
Yep.
Mr. Akari,
Yes.
Mr. Quillen,
Yes.
Chairman Terhune.
Yes. Next, may I have a motion to approve moving the zoning board meeting from December 25th, 2025 to December 18th, 2025.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mr. Smasino,
Yep.
Mr. Akari, Mr. Quillen,
Yes.
and Terhune.
Yes. All right. Next, I'd like to open the public hearing scheduled for 7 p.m., January 23, 2025. The applicant Verizon Wireless is applying for an area variance for height for a proposed cell phone tower at 6010 County Farm Road. The applicant has submitted a special use permit and site plan application to the planning board for a 194 foot tall self-support cell tower. The proposed project is located within the Saratoga County government compound. The subject parcel is zoned R2 and establishes a maximum permitted height of 150 feet. And the applicant is proposing a total height of 194 feet. Then I did receive a review from Aerosmith Engineering on January 8th. They reviewed the existing 185-foot self-supporting tower at the above referenced site for feasibility for Verizon Wireless to co-locate. And they concluded that due to the existing equipment on the tower, there's no available space for an additional carrier with a full antenna array to install on the tower. And for Verizon to install below AT&T at the 164-foot 6-inch RAD. The county's equipment installed below 140 foot feet, and AT&T would need to be lowered. They said, however, the equipment cannot be lowered due to risk of performance loss. Also, Omni antennas cannot be located between Verizon sectors at the same elevation due to RF interference. The evaluation assumes that the existing tower conditions and loading has not been altered since the date of the above referenced tower map, and all structure members are in good condition and have not been altered from manufacturer's original design. Okay, and then on January 17th, the Saratoga County Planning Board reviewed the proposed cell phone tower and determined there was no significant countywide or inter-community impact. So, would the applicant please come up?
Good evening, Attorney Hyde Clark from Young Summer here on behalf of the applicant.
Thank you.
Another update for the board. We did have an appearance at the last planning board meeting. Planning board did declare a negative declaration for seeker. So the board received at least notice of that decision has been made. In addition to the structural letter that was submitted by engineering, we've also provided additional coverage maps, which were requested by the board at the last CBA meeting. So our RF engineer did provide what proposed coverage would be at 180 feet and then proposed coverage at 170 feet. And, based on that analysis, there would be a significant loss coverage at 170. And would also like to note that because we're proposing a new tower, that there will be an opportunity for co-location. So the shorter that our tower is, we provide coverage maps of what Verizon would provide coverage at. We then have to also consider for height what those co-locators would be able to provide at lower heights as well. So if anyone has any questions about those maps, hope you had a chance to review those. I believe that this board also requested information about the access drive, which was originally proposed directly across from the neighbor. Although that's, being reviewed as part of planning and site plan review. Do want to update the board that we are negotiating with the county to move that drive west along the current road so that we're not directly across from the neighbor's entrance. We're now on the property line between the two neighbors. So no one's walking out of their door and seeing directly into the tower compound. So that would be updated with the site plan with the planning board.
See the, yeah, this is the, sorry, this is the packet that you're referring to, right, with the updated coverage?
Yep.
Okay.
It's been on January 9th.
Yeah, I just got that. I mean, I just saw it for the first time.
Yep.
And there's no 5G on those. Why not?
So this tower is proposed at 4G. And
You can extrapolate, right? It's gonna go to 5, I would think, right?
so with all of our towers, we show what the coverage that as constructed, what will be turned on. 5G overall, it's similar to any telecommunications. It has to be interconnected with all the other towers. So it's not like we're going to turn on 5G just at this one tower if 5G is not
Okay,
turned
well,
on all the way around.
you are-
Yeah.
That's your business. I don't know.
But that's just why we show 4G, because when it's constructed, that's what it's going to be. At this time, we don't have a date where that 5G will be turned on.
I haven't even had a chance to really, I just quick look through.
Quick look, yeah.
We'll need some time to digest. Thanks for listening to planning board. That was a consideration that we had.
Yeah, no, I think, once we had a chance to look at that and the
Right
county's,
out the gate, though.
yeah, county was willing to work with us and, now we're just working on getting that lease amended with the updated site plan.
Anybody here for the public hearing? Anybody else? No. Anybody at planning?
Planning does not have a public
Hearing
hearing
no-
yet.
okay.
So I'm looking at the map. Sorry, I'm partially colorblind. So trying to figure out, I think it's, I don't know, red or green, the difference between 170 and 190.
The difference between 170 and 190 is exhibit SC.
Yeah. It's hard to make out what,
Yeah, the big difference, actually, Rick went ahead and circled kind of the areas
yeah.
with the black pen to show where we would lose substantial
Let me know.
coverage.
What kind of significance you're trying to see? I can't really tell with the colors.
Yeah, that's right, you're calling.
Yeah, I'm colorblind. I need some help
Yeah, you're gonna have to use
looking at this.
check boxes and things like that. for this.
Did-
Yeah, our big concern, and like I said, I haven't had a chance to really look at this, but our big concern was there was still a big open area to the west. I don't know if that's, you'd have to put it looks like you have three emitters. I don't know what you call those things, but.
Well, so each, the image here represents a tower either.
No, I understand the tower part, but when I was looking at, in the book,
Yeah,
unless it's just a typical and it's not actual. How many, what do you call them? Emitter? What do you call
well,
those?
so it's 9 panel antennas, so they face three
Three,
panel
and what I'm
antennas face-
saying
yeah.
is that, because three sided.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm thinking that there's gotta be a way with an adapter or whatever, where you can get something to go in that fourth direction or move it so that it goes more west. Right now, you're aiming it at the population, which is fine and dandy for the population, but I'm more concerned about the people in our town. Sorry about that. Have you looked at that at all?
Yeah, I mean,
But you get
RF
some help,
engine.
right?
Yeah.
Well, according to our calculations. Sorry.
Yeah. I think the question is, obviously, we see what the proposed tower would cover. Obviously, the shape. If you could refresh, was it based on it picking up from like another tower?
so
Right, like-
I think the question is specifically the sector and how it's turned, which I don't necessarily have an answer. But in terms of the location, we've shown what the coverage gap is. There is limitations. There's nothing saying that even if we did turn that sector that we're going to hit a gap, you could have topography issues, you could have vegetation issues, construction issues. So, I'm not sure it's as easy as just spinning it and being
Well,
able to
you
hit a
are,
certain area.
but has anybody looked at it?
Yeah, our RF engineer was supposed to attend tonight, so if he does make it, well,
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear.
our RF engineer is supposed to attend tonight, so if he's able to make it, we'll have him
Okay,
potentially answer it.
that's good. Planning have, our own experts looking at this too? I didn't know if they did hire a firm or not.
The planning board has not hired a RF firm, outside RF firm, correct? And planning consultant. Yeah.
Sorry. I'll tell you what I said later. Yeah, I don't know if there's anybody else have questions? There's nobody here for the public hearing. I just think that we've got to, readdress some of the data next month. I'm not ready to make any decisions. I think I still have questions specifically that if he's not here, then we can't get answers. Does that make sense?
Well, there is another applicant, so if we want to adjourn for now and give him an opportunity to get here tonight, I would be open to that.
You're McDonald's?
Yeah.
It's a footing.
We'll see if he's,
I don't see it as a biggie, but I mean,
Yeah.
can we do that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We'll keep the public hearing
No,
open and
I'm
we'll,
gonna give a guy a break anytime,
no, thank
I'm
you,
good with that.
appreciate it.
we'll go on. All right. So, next, the applicant, McDonald's Corporation, is applying for an area variance for a front yard setback for a new proposed 4,300 square foot restaurant with drive-through at 10 Trebly? Trable? Listen, I'm new to the town. This 1 acre site is located in the town center district and is subject to review under the town center design guidelines. Property is owned by Milton Center Plaza LLC. The applicant is proposing the placement of the footings associated with the drive-through canopy at 1.6 feet from the property line. For relief, I think that's, which is relief of 8.4 feet from the front yard setback. So can you give us I guess give us an overview of exactly what relief you're looking at. The application looked like it was 10 feet.
That's right. Yeah,
Okay.
the property.
So all like okay. So 10 feet, got it.
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
Town center guidelines, the front setback is between 10 and 15 feet.
Yep.
The applicant is asking for 8.4 feet of relief from a 10-foot front setback to the property line. So he's asking for a pretty generous,
I got you.
thank you,
Yeah, I can't pronounce the road.
of the front setback.
Well, maybe you can clarify for me.
Yeah.
Is the foundation of the, is that where the building is considered to encroach or? Because I
We
have,
typically use the foundation.
okay, that's fine. And then you're right, then 8.6 is about it then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like we typically use the foundation,
I got
the overhangs is allowed.
I got you.
You need a big map?
So, thank you, Steve Wilson with Bowler on behalf of the applicant, Don.
Yeah.
Sorry. A few times I think you look out the window and see the site from here.
Yep.
This is Hannaford, the town hall, so they break the corner of the screen. Dunkin' Donuts is right here, and there's the plaza entrance and with Hannaford back here. So here's the site. We've been through several planning board meetings to kind of get to a layout, circulation, access, building layout and look. With that planning board at several meetings, and I think we're pretty close there, except for this, obviously, this variance issue. So as was mentioned, per the town design guidelines, you kind of got to split the uprights there between 15 and 10 feet. You have to be closer than 15, but not more than 10 feet from the property line. So to achieve getting us closer to the street, which is the intent of the design guideline, that have buildings street facing and connected to the street. You have it's called a portico share, you got all the overhang on the drive-through here. Almost identical to what Dunkin' Donuts did on their building. It's the same kind of setup where they have that gabled roof over the top of the drive-through to bring the building closer to the street. Why can't we get it further away from the street? Well, several reasons. For one, the site's long and skinny, and that dictates a lot. We've actually putting a atypical building in here. This is what McDonald's refers to as 38111. It's a 38-foot wide building. 99% of the McDonald's we've seen built in the last 20 years are 45 feet wide. It's because it makes the most efficient building, the kitchen, the layout, dining, all that kind of thing makes for the most efficient building. So we've already compressed the building down to 38 feet and stretched it to kind of fit with the site. Then also the town has a 21-foot wide drive aisle requirement as well, so we have to adhere to that. Then we have parking. And then obviously around the drive-through side of the building, you see here's the double drive-through. You come around this way and there's the windows along here and out you go. So we have shrunk these travel lanes down as much as we can, down to that 12-foot range to kind of compress that area as well. And then when you look at the width of the site, you just kind of run out of room. Even if you notice here, per the design guidelines as well, we're connecting to the sidewalk that currently exists off the property. And we're keeping it on our property as much as possible, but it is gonna go on the town property down here because, again, we're just kind of running out of room to try to make it all fit and meet the town design guidelines. So we try to do what we can to make it fit, make it financially viable for McDonald's, and yet still try to conform to the design guidelines required by the town. Just to give you maybe a frame of reference, what this would look like, what I did was, so you can see that it's, like I said, it's a very similar design. There's gonna be this gable here over this is Dunkin' Donuts, it'll be a gable over the drive-through. So to give you a frame of reference, what we're gonna look like, our canopy will be 10 feet from the edge of the street. Edge of the street, about right away or setbacks. They're 13 feet from the edge of the street. So it's gonna look very similar, even though the property lines are a little different, maybe the setback is different. If you're driving down the street, they're 13, we're 10, it's gonna look very similar, and it's gonna kind of fit with the look of the neighborhood, so I just wanted to point that out.
but I didn't have a chance to really look at every detail, but, if somebody comes around there with an overhyped vehicle, there's no way to get past that, right?
Oh, yeah, there is, yeah,
No,
sure.
you don't have to show me,
No.
just a yes is,
Yes. Because there's clearance bars.
okay, well, that's, I didn't see it.
Yeah, that you, that dictate who can go through there. Now, if they ignore those,
Yeah.
take those down, yes, they'll probably take down this as well, but that's a whole different, yes. But they match the clearance bars.
And where, sorry,
Yep.
I'm looking at the map as well. In regards to the proposed, so we have, and I think Bill, this might be what we're talking about, the minimum front parking setback 10 feet to 1.6 feet.
Yeah, it's the minimum front setback of the actual structure is what they're going on, and it's between 10 and 15 feet.
Yes.
In our code. He's asking for relief of that front setback down to 1.6 feet of relief to the footing. So you're gonna have the overhang, it's gonna be right up in there, right on the property line, pretty much. So in all respects, the zero, it's gonna be 100% relief of the setback. He's pretty asking for with his overhang. Again, this is just my concerns to them. Would it be viable for McDonald's to possibly look at a canopy with one lane covered rather than the two? Would that,
Well,
So we're looking at
The problem
everything
would that
in
obstruct the
separate-
drive-through lane, the other lane?
well, it wouldn't
This
necessarily
isn't a
obstruct
thing,
it, but the
right?
problem is now I need columns to support it, right?
Mhm.
Now I'd have to put them in I basically then have to have a median between my drive-through lane and the
True.
bypass to put these columns on. So now I'm kind
So they need 1.6
of
feet.
eating further into the site.
My concern is enforcement, just to the board, is the encroachment onto the right of way. Any potential people driving down Rollins Street making a mistake, you're right on the property line. They have minimal clearance for any mistakes that might happen. I know Dunkin' Donuts is up close. That they're the only things that I saw as from the enforcement part, part of it
I
is
don't understand.
the closeness of a structure to the actual property line. It'll be pretty much a zero clearance, so it's gonna be right at the property line. So any work that's done in the right of way, it's gonna be tight right through there. It's gonna be
Yeah.
tight. If there's water, if there's gas, if there's electric, any work, it's gonna be right on the line, and that would be my only concerns. And potential, any traffic accidents, you have the curb, trees, and sidewalk that could mitigate or slow down traffic, and then you're gonna have a building right there.
My question is, why, where did it come up from, put another McDonald's
So
here, we
this
got one on
is-
the south end of town.
In front setback zero.
Why, is there a need to
Yeah,
have one?
he's
in the
looking for-
north end of
Now
town?
there's also this parking one.
Uh,
1.6. Is
I
front
guess,
setback
I don't know
on both
if I need it
sides?
per se as much
Yes,
as there
that's
is a
what they're-
market
so
here,
we need
otherwise
to-
McDonald's
We need
would
one for
be investing.
the
No,
parking lot.
he's just
If
asking
you
for a
feel this is a
variance, not
financially
for the
viable
parking.
site,
You're not gonna have parking there, you're having a drive through. So you can go right up to the property line with your thing. There's no,
Their model
This
is
is where
built
the
off,
enforcement
you know,
from
impulse to drive by. Majority of it drive by.
he's just
traffic,
asking for the one
traffic.
variance,
So
which
yes,
is a
they
front
feel it's
setback, so he's
definitely
pretty much
My
zero.
feeling,
Put it on this side.
you got a McDonald's on the south end of town.
This side right here. This is the actual property line,
Yeah.
and this is his footage for the
I
canopy.
can't speak to those.
So this is the distance right here.
Canopy is we're gonna get-
The canopy canopy is what you're looking at. And this is the distance right here. This is the actual property line and this is the
A
footing.
lot going on at
So
once.
your canopy is gonna be
Just
right
out
on the
of
property.
curiosity,
over the
you know,
property.
it would be better if
My
we had
concern is, here's
I don't know
a
what you would call it, a site view,
traffic flow.
so we
coming
actually
around.
see what it looks like.
So it
There
comes
we
out,
go.
makes
Now
sense.
we're, okay.
You're right on that.
So,
Right here you have
okay,
curb
so it's a
sidewalk.
great big ass
That's what I'm getting.
roof and all that stuff.
There wouldn't be,
Yeah.
there would be just, there would be your column and your overhang,
Yeah.
and you'd be right at the
What we're
100%,
trying to do here.
pretty much.
Oh, boy. So when they knock that down, remember, are you from around here?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you know about Schenectady? Where they like to knock into that bridge on a
Oh,
regular
yeah.
basis?
Oh, yeah, there's one over in,
Yeah.
Glenville.
Yeah.
Yes.
How's the parking?
Well, Schenectady County, sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was looking at, I don't know how much, you know, I was thinking you could cantilever it, but that's a lot of weight.
yeah.
You'd have to
Oh,
like have the steel run right through the whole building.
So just so I get my understanding, that right there,
This is the-
right on the sidewalk.
Exactly. So there'd be a sidewalk through here and here's the edge of the road and it gives you the sense of the.
those are going right to the sidewalk.
What's the-
Exactly.
Okay.
What's the ID height?
Talking about right in here,
Yeah,
that is,
what, 10.3 or something like that?
oh, yeah. Well, that's the standard right there. So that matches the clearance bar. So you know that you're not. These are on every McDonald's you see, these little overhangs over the
Yeah,
window.
Yeah.
What's
For the
the
rain.
distance there, because I don't have the drawing, the distance between, from the curb line to Rollins Street, what's that distance right there?
You're talking here?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's 10 feet.
it's 10 feet.
Yeah.
So when the snow plows come down through, they're gonna be throwing snow all over the place there.
You're gonna,
Well,
Yeah, it's gonna be.
you're gonna have snow to the pillars. It's gonna be, the actual property line is shown on his map. If you look at your
Yeah.
map, there's a black highlighted line that is the property line. And the applicant's looking to put the actual footings of the overhang 1.4 feet away from the actual property line. So the overhang technically will be that's why he's got 0 on it. With the overhang, he's showing the overhang right at the property line, right at the property line. So then you have the
This is the
property
sidewalk.
line.
Yeah,
You have the property line, the sidewalk, street trees and lighting,
yeah.
and then you have traffic.
in terms of snow plowing, it's. You look here at Dunkin' Donuts and the separation distance between the street
Oh, the
and the
bus.
sidewalk.
Mhm.
This is actually further away than over
Yeah.
through here. I mean, our sidewalk is gonna be further away from the street than Dunkin', the one in front of
Okay.
Dunkin' Donuts.
So,
Yeah, I
so
don't
then you
think
would
we
really
gotta
have a
worry about
maintenance
that.
issue for the sidewalk.
It's not our problem. Just out of curiosity, I understand why you want the overhang. It's so when people roll down that window, it doesn't get rained on or anything. Is there any way you,
You talking about this overhang?
yeah.
This is not a McDonald's lot. This is designed to meet the town center design guidelines. This is something the planning board
Yeah.
has wanted.
Really?
They have a criteria, the
Yeah.
planning board has a criteria they have to meet. They have to, the applicant has to show the 10 to 15 foot distance. And with the building's at what, 26 feet or something like that?
Yes.
The building's at like 26 feet from the actual front right of way, so it doesn't meet the code. If you
Oh.
go down through town center, there's a couple different, a good one is Sunmark. You'll see the extended sign that Sunmark had. That was not Sunmark's doing, that was the planning board making them attach a sign to the building to extend the front setback to the 10 to 15 foot mark.
So really all you need is a little overhang. I mean, for people is what I'm getting at. Forget about I'm saying practically.
Oh, yeah, if you go back to, this is, you see these overhangs right here?
Yeah,
That's one at every McDonald's there is. So when you're rolling your window down, you don't get rained on while you're hanging.
yeah.
That's.
That's,
This is all.
I thought that's why
McDonald's ever has. This is really, this investment is trying to meet the design guidelines, not something.
we should probably talk to planning about.
Can you explain why they want that?
To meet that front setback.
Yeah.
It's similar if you drive down to the car wash down here on Rollins Street or on Geyser Road.
Yeah.
You'll see a kiosk out by the road and along
Oh.
parapet going back to the building.
So without it, you're more than 15.
Correct. The applicant for the car wash wanted to move it, but he couldn't because he had constraints. They had to keep it there because of the plumbing and sewer constraints. So they added this kiosk out front with a portico that goes down to it, to meet that front setback, similar to the
Got it.
sign at Sunmark and similar
Some
to
engineer put
Dunkin'
in something
Donuts
and
as
now
well.
we've got to try to figure out how to make it work. Is that basically what we're talking about here, Bill?
Yeah, pretty much. The applicant's,
So it
the
sounds to
applicant's
me like we've
adapting,
gotta-
the applicant's
question the
adapting
design.
to the planning board's request. My concern as the code enforcement is just the life safety and the closeness of it. There's an intersection across the street from Stewart's or the liquor store area
Okay.
there
Yeah.
that comes in. My concern is it's supposed to be 30 miles an hour. You know how that works, 45, you're right up, right tight to the concern. I just wanted to bring it to the attention of the board that would be my only concerns is thinking about the safety of pedestrians and traffic.
People
Design criteria.
crossing there.
Is that a zoning issue?
Yeah, again, the applicant is doing what the planning board has requested of him. He is trying to meet the 10 to 15-foot setback with the positioning of the building, the design of the building. The applicant isn't able to do that, so then he has to, he through the design portion of the planning board, he had to come back with his design. He had to come back to you to ask for relief of that 10 to 15-foot front setback.
I'm just wondering, guys, if, because we still have public hearing and all that stuff, if it would make sense for us to at least explore the possibility of saying this design criteria, unless there's some other, there may be some really good uses for it, but it doesn't seem to, give us a better product. There's more problems I can see than solutions that we
Yeah.
look at. I don't know how we circumvent that or if it's an additional variance, but
It would be, right? So you're without
you see where I'm
that,
getting at?
without that structure, you need a variance because it's more than 15. With it, you need a variance because it's 0.
Yeah. And what I'm
Okay.
thinking maybe
Right.
you go the other way.
The planning board, I'm not gonna get to the planning board unless I get this thing closer to the street somehow, so I guess
Okay.
I'm getting a little bit.
Is there a way to shorten the drive? Obviously, you have the drive-through pickup and then a lane to go around it.
That's what we were just talking about.
So the drive-through lane, it looks like 10 feet.
Not without creating safety and access issues. Again, now I need to be able to plow, I need to be able to get, be able to use this as circulation
Yeah.
around the building.
Yep.
So I've got these pretty much as narrow as I can get them without that creating a safety issue. And I guess I just say, in terms of like sidewalk, and listen, I'm all about life safety, as my boss says, number one, goal of our number one goal of a civil engineer is life safety, but
Yeah.
I just point out, if you look at Duncan versus us, sidewalk, 13 feet back, we're 10. The separation of the sidewalk from the street and present, it's very similar, and I think, if I understand right, that was the intent of the town center design guidelines, to make it walkable and,
Green space.
friendly, green space, connectivity. We're adding a lot of new sidewalks, so actually, we got a show in here too, but we're gonna make a connection here, across
Crosswalk.
there
Crosswalk.
to connect it, so, yeah.
That's my question was, little crosswalks, because on this side here, you got Stewart's, you got Stewart's over here, liquor store, somebody goes kind of across there.
Yeah, I mean, you can't have a crosswalk there.
In that area?
I don't think it would justify a crosswalk.
Talk about on Roland.
Yeah, basically the
Yeah,
traffic going into there is
Yeah.
going to be, there is a crosswalk at the intersection at the light. So they'd have to cross at the light, walk up and walk onto the property.
Yeah, cause.
This shouldn't even
You
be.
get somebody,
But there wouldn't be a crosswalk or a stop bar or anything right in front of Stewart's. That would be
Let's see.
out of the question, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Behind the system.
like you say, as long as it's accessible.
Did I say that?
Accessible, you're gonna have a crosswalk on Treble Avenue.
That's right, back here. Yeah, because it's already set up there with the way the sidewalk
Yep.
is.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it'd be all handicap accessible.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
In terms of the concern with, the pullouts and accidents, from the liquor store in specific, I'm assuming you're designing this to be pretty sturdy. The concern that, I have that, Mr. Lewis pointed out was if a car does come out of the liquor store, exit, hits another car, your overpass seems to be a pretty prime area for a car to go. Obviously, it's tough to plan
Yeah.
for, but
Somebody who drives through it, they're gonna take it down. I mean, I
Yeah,
can't do
there's-
much about that. I mean, we're gonna be designed similar to the way theirs, Duncan's is, what they have those columns out in front.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't make it bulletproof or something.
yeah,
It's at 30, 45 miles an hour. Yeah, it's probably gonna come down.
No.
You also, to mitigate some of the issues too, you also have treescaping and lightscaping and treescaping that run down through there. That acts as the design of the town center, the lights and trees were designed for, sort of like safety, pedestrian safety. But you do have the sidewalk. My only concern as enforcement is it's a zero, you're asking for 100% of relief of the front setback, which brings you right up onto it. I just want to pretty much make the board aware that it's a boom, it's going to be right in your face, right there. And the potential of any, anybody making a mistake, it's right there. That's all
Yeah.
my intent for enforcement is to bring to your attention that the applicant obviously is doing what the board has asked him to do to meet that front setback requirement. It's just pretty much a 100% relief of a front setback in town center, just bringing that aware to you guys.
Well, you said your sidewalk is, we got a little further distance from the curb line back to your sidewalk than there is at Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah. I mean, it's not that much difference, but I'm gonna say they're about 3 feet, maybe, some places here we're probably pushing close to 4. So it's not a tremendous difference, but it's comparable. And this is gonna be just like they are. This is gonna be curved
Curb
along with the sidewalk.
and the green space.
Yep.
Yeah. It's like, it's almost typical to the site.
Really thought that you could
I mean,
I don't know. I'm just trying to, just
It's
because it says it
It kind of replicates that.
in the rules doesn't mean that. we
similar,
follow.
but it's going to be closer to the
This is crazy.
right away.
now real quick, I'm looking at Duncan. They only have a single lane behind the building, I guess on the Rowland Street side. And your proposal has the double lane. I'm assuming that's a standard McDonald's thing versus Dunkin' Donuts. Like why do they have one lane and you have two?
Well, the capacity of our drive-through is a lot greater. If you see, we have 2 lanes entering and then funnels down to a single lane. So the volume of McDonald's is tremendously more than a Dunkin' Donuts. And the way their site, their parking needs are also less here. So I kind of need, so if you look at their site, they have 2-way traffic through the front here.
Oh, you got parking on the left side too.
I got 1-way traffic around counterclockwise rotation site access, because I need a lot more parking on either end. I just can't live.
Yeah,
Like I said, parking up here, that's not.
I see. Yeah, they got parking right in front of
Yeah,
their door.
yeah, all their parking is right here. It's less volume. You can see the building smaller. It's just doesn't have the same capacity.
Okay.
And McDonald's has found this as a safety feature. Some people get in the drive-through and if they want to get out and they can't, that creates issues too. They get, irritated and whatever. It's just,
Sure.
it's a good safety valve to have at that kind of capacity, let them be able to get out and go around.
Yeah.
You want to set a public hearing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do anyone else have any questions?
thinking Seco,
Yeah.
planning board, right?
Yeah,
It's type 2.
Type 2 action, yeah.
yeah, they classified as a type 2 in their last meeting. Okay, no other questions? Nothing?
No.
Good. Okay. Yeah, I think we're learning a little bit. It's good. All right, may I have a motion to schedule a public hearing for this application next month, February 27th, 2025 at 7 PM?
So move.
Second?
Second and motion.
Mr. Macedow,
Yes.
Mr. Kari,
Yes.
Mr. Quillen,
Yes.
Chairman Terhune.
Yes.
Thank you
Very
much.
good.
We'll see you next month.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You got our engineer. All right. Let me get the other stuff back.
I think it'd be helpful to have Rick Andrews come up and actually go through each coverage plot. If we could have that pulled up.
Thank you.
Minute.
Have a good night. Thanks.
Have a good one. Okay.
Good evening. I apologize sincerely for being late.
Yeah. Glad you made it.
Hey, it happens. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Unexcusable, so I apologize again, but either way, here we are now.
You're good. Help us out.
All right, thank you. So this first plot, it came up the last meeting that we were showing excessive coverage down in the, like sort of on the town line, the southern portion of the town line. It turns out, and I believe we had discussed it, that we have a proposed new site called Boston Spa South, which is this red dot.
Yeah.
So the initial plot showed coverage from that, which came from one of the earlier plots I think I had done for Milton West, where we're showing the 2-year plan. So we anticipate that site to be on there within 2 years. I forgot to pull it off of the coverage when I did the original plot. So this is ultimately what it looked like without the contributions from that site that doesn't exist at this moment. So I guess the main point is there's, and it's mostly in the other town, but there are a lot of these areas that are shown in blue where we have absolutely horrendous coverage currently. So the intent is to just true up the map. So this is a more realistic view of what we would expect to see. So another plot that we had talked about last time was if you could click back one slide. So we had talked about on these plots last time that what this represents is that the signal level that we're shooting for, the minus 95 dBm, whichever between these two sites, this is what this plot is showing is that this has better up to -95 coverage to this point. And at that point, this site becomes more dominant than this one does. It doesn't mean that this one doesn't cover it into here. It just doesn't cover it as strongly as this other site. So that's what that represents. So then the question came up, well, if you removed all of these other sites, what would this one by itself look like?
Yes.
That's what the next plot shows.
Got it.
Okay.
Now,
That-
look
you
at this
say
one,
within
so
The
this
next
is,
3 years, that's gonna be
No.
that west site?
Boston Spa Tower, the
oh,
south one.
this one, it was approved 2 months ago, so it should go into construction this year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Do you know the actual location of that?
I don't recall the name of the,
So Milton West.
No, I mean, where physically, where is it gonna be?
939 Rock City Road. It's right across from, they just got approved, a cell tower directly across
Back up.
from,
The restaurant.
from O'Beal's Restaurant and 900
Oh.
Rock City Road Stockade, right next to the storage unit.
Okay,
Just north of the storage unit, they have
Okay.
a cell tower that just was approved and that went through planning. It didn't need a variance. You guys didn't see anything on it. It just was approved
Okay.
2 months ago.
that's fine.
Okay.
You know, this way you get a picture in your mind, what's going on.
So on this map, you said the Boston Spa one wasn't on yet and you took it out.
Right.
But the Milton West one's not on yet either.
No, but so that's why it's a different color, right? So this
These
lighter blue,
colors.
this is existing.
Sorry.
in the dark.
I'm colorblind, so yeah, his colors throw me off. All right. So okay, so the light blue on the bottom, right? Is that what that color is?
Yep.
Yep. So that's existing today,
Correct.
and then the dark blue.
Up here.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I see it now. And then the dark blue is what will be hopefully soon.
Correct, yes.
Okay.
It should be in 2025.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Typically 6 months after approval.
Okay.
Have to go through some regulatory.
How long to the Boston Spa one? Is that yours or?
This one down here, we haven't started zoning yet, so it's very difficult to tell, but
Okay, so that's a future proposed one.
yeah, so, sorry, we plan on
Oh,
going
yeah.
zoning in the next 2 or 3 months, so this is, if all goes well, 2026.
That's Boston Spa, right? Yeah. Okay. What was the height of the Milton West Tower? 150?
120.
120?
25, one.
Okay.
That's probably near the airport.
Yeah.
With the rod. Okay.
Yeah, I noticed that, the existing tower there now has a flashing red light.
Yeah.
Like, you guys gonna just rely on that? Or are you gonna put your own flashing light on?
We'll probably have to put it on.
So there will be a flashing
Is
light.
that the county?
Yes.
Yes. But
FAA.
that ours will need to have to be lit, okay.
It's under 200, so they don't have to put one, but
Apparently we do according to.
The county wants it.
The airport.
Okay. And then, all right, can you go down? Sorry. You're doing great.
So, okay, so again, so this is to depict what, taking off all the other sites. So this is the only site that existed. This is what the site would cover.
it's bright and yellow and then it changes.
All the yellow sort of coverages.
Yeah, so the yellow is the targeted coverage level that we're shooting for. And what the difference between the yellow and the red is the yellow means that there's sufficient signal outside of your home to within a reasonable extent penetrate inside of your home. So you could expect to have coverage inside your home. Whereas the areas that are in the red
Go through my house.
may have enough to get inside of a vehicle. Well, you should have enough to get inside of a vehicle, but not necessarily inside of a home. If your house happens to be oriented to where you were shooting in windows, you got a better chance than if your house is oriented, there's no windows. So this is intended to show that the yellow would be more in-home type of coverage, the red more in-vehicle type of coverage, and the areas that are shown in the background of white or tan or however you want to look at it, that means there's a chance that there's like no coverage unless you're out walking your dog or something just outside in an open area. So that's what that's intended to show. So this is just a blown up picture of two maps ago where I trued up the coverage to the south. So nothing new on this one. Okay, then the question came up, what would it look like if we went from 190-foot tower to 180-foot tower?
Yeah.
That's what this picture shows, so I know it's difficult for you.
Yeah.
But there's some areas where the green leaks out that the orange stops at, so.
Okay.
So what this shows is if you drop the antenna height, the areas that still show in green are where the coverage would be reduced by reducing the height.
Pretty much most of it would be to the south.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's less impactful. Yeah.
Yep.
But this wouldn't necessarily be like if we.
Once you get the other tower.
If we are able to get this tower right, this.
Yep.
It's gonna have coverage.
Ask you, what's the radius, what's the radius, in miles or thousands of feet?
Yeah, so this is 8/10 of a mile, so you're talking a mile.
Maybe the one south.
This is probably a 1 mile-ish radius.
Like a mile radius.
Yeah.
That's okay, I'm good with it.
Next one.
So now, yeah, if we click to the next one, please. So this shows that we drop another 10 feet. Now you see it starts to get, so a little bit more pronounced around the periphery, right? So we start to lose into some of the neighborhoods where the homes are, connecting coverage along some of the roads. So the question that I believe you had asked last time was, well, is it really a big deal if you lost 10 feet? This shows, we do definitely lose coverage. I
Yeah.
would prefer to stay where we started, but
Yeah.
10-foot drop is probably acceptable. 20, we're starting to get, to where we're not making solid connection to our new
The other tower.
west side, right?
Okay.
Well, as along, these roads, and then there are significant number of homes and communities in this area where we begin to lose coverage.
Maybe a off question, but do you know how many like households would lose coverage?
I mean, just rough.
I know it's tough, but-
Say, 50-ish in this area. 10 or so, there was an equestrian center out here that was sort of on the fringe of coverage that would most likely lose coverage if we drop too far.
Okay.
I don't remember what the next one shows, but let's find out.
Is it the
Oh, I'm
150?
sorry, yeah, so this is the one, so here's the 170, so.
I think that's
the
one
last
circled for me.
Yeah, it was either duplicate or we're on the same slide.
71,
So
7.
this is the 170, right? So this is a 20-foot reduction. So this is, here's where you start to see significant
Does not
loss in
affect the
coverage.
town at all.
Yeah, so I circled the areas where it's, again, there's significant coverage loss here, but again, assuming we get this Boston South, Boston Spa South, that won't be an issue.
What is that one?
Yeah, so it looks like we have duplicates of each slide.
Okay.
So that was the confusing part. Yeah, so, again, just to clarify, right? So this is a 20-foot tower drop. There is significant loss. And 10-foot, it wasn't quite as significant. So, I had mentioned the 50 homes up there is. Right, so, yeah, so it's the difference between this one and the next one. This is the 10-foot.
That's at 180.
Yeah, so this is so the antennas would be at 175, top of the tower at 180. Correct.
Okay.
And then conversely, the next one where there is significant loss of coverage.
That's the 170.
Right. So, in my opinion, this would be very noticeable reduction in cost and would, probably lead to us in the future having to do something to clean this area up as well as some of these other areas.
And that spot on the like northeast, that's right kind of where we are, right? Is that, am I reading the map right? I think so.
The one that says Milton Center is where you are on that one map. We're just, the Milton Center one is the one at the
Oh,
water
okay.
tower up here. And
Yeah.
then the other towers that are listed on here, the one that's in the bottom corner is on Good Road, I
Yeah.
believe. That's the Milton, it just says Milton on it. If I'm not mistaken, that's at the Good Road Farm, right off Good Road and 67. The
Yep.
proposed one up top is the one that was just approved, which is a horrible service up there, which
Oh, yeah.
getting approved at 120. And this one where they're going now, just from experience driving around the town with
Yeah.
my cell phone, is horrible service.
My
And
neighborhood.
this one will also like help on Maple Avenue. If you see the coverage, you can see that if you look at the map, you can see the actual roads on it.
Yeah,
And
it's
it kind of overlaps the coverage. You've got real bad coverage like at North Line and Greenfield. And this
Right now.
projects out into there pretty good too, which is
Airport's right.
kind of an important area.
I guess we're right here.
We're located.
I second everything.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was. Okay.
Pretty much with the two towers is the two towers that are proposed, the one that was already approved and this one that they're looking for. That's the majority of our loss and low signal in the town. Just from, again, I'm not an
Yeah.
expert, just from me driving around and experiencing loss.
And these are all Verizon towers?
Correct.
What's on the water tank? Is it Verizon and AT&T on the water?
They have multiple vendors. I think there's 3 vendors on the John Street Tower. They have co-location. I believe there's another one in Milton. There's another one which I don't think is shown on this one. It's And I don't know if it's Verizon. It's on Soderman Road.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's to the north where,
Yeah, north of this map.
yeah,
yeah, just off the map to the,
Yep.
along 29, right?
Yep, yep.
yeah.
So I believe that was it for the lots.
So
Really-
basically,
really-
planning is taking
really-
care of our one concern.
You know what?
Seems to me like with that. West.
The more you reduce the height, the less coverage you have.
We're gonna take care of the west.
It's not gonna make any sense to have.
And so the only other consideration.
There's another tower that's comparable in height right next to where this one's going, but it's
Yeah.
carries the
I
EMS,
tried to get
fire,
Scott, but I couldn't.
carries AT&T, and AT&T has a bank on it, but it's mostly for the
Couldn't hurt to
communication of
have
the county.
Yeah.
She said they do it.
Yeah, so I think as we had discussed, our original plan was to go on the existing tower. And then we found out that AT&T was already extending it. And then because of all the EMS equipment and the sheriff's
Yep.
equipment that's on the tower, it forced us down below 100 feet, which doesn't really cover much of that.
No.
Right.
It wouldn't make any sense.
So any more questions on maps or
No.
coverage and good stuff? Thank you.
Any other? Okay. Is there anyone on Zoom? Oh, nice.
Nobody,
There you go.
no public, nobody from the public.
No. All right, may I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So move.
I'll second the motion.
You need a motion now to approve.
Yeah.
What's the variance? That's what it's. From 150 to
44.
194.
Can I get a vote? Mr. Smassenow,
Yeah,
Mr. Akari?
Yeah.
Mr. Quillen,
Yes,
Chairman Terhune.
Yes. All right, so just to recap, they're proposing 194. The maximum height allowed 150, so 44 for relief. I think we brought it up last time too, about potentially having a spot on the tower for town use.
got no call.
Okay.
I like that. You doing this. Just-
Just
It is
get,
a process,
Yeah,
but you
Hmm.
just have to follow that.
okay. All right, since there's no questions, I'd like to have a motion to approve the area variance as stated on the application for the proposed cell phone tower at 6010 County Farm Road. Second.
I'll second it.
Mr. Smassenow,
yes.
Mr. Akari?
Yes.
Mr. Quillen,
Yes.
and Chairman Terhune.
Yes. Thank you all.
You want this back, please?
All right. Sorry, to be the bearer of bad news. We're not done yet. The town board,
Oh, yeah.
we got one more thing. We'll make it quick. I think everyone looked at the letter I wrote to the town board, in regards to the moratorium on large scale, solar, installations and battery storage. If you've read through it, I just outlined, kind of what the code goes over. It talks about small scale and large scale in general. The moratorium is focused on the large scale, solar installation and, really battery storage. And in the regulations, there's not a lot of, there's nothing specifically that addresses battery storage facilities, but it does offer some insight, essentially saying they have to be safe. So my recommendation due to that, there'll probably be more common in the future standalone battery storage facilities. And I would imagine in the future too, those are power grid is going to be more reliant on there, that we recommend the town board does adopt the proposed moratorium with those in consideration.
You need a motion to like
Yes,
say we're in favor
I
of
think
that?
so, yeah. Any questions about what I wrote? I mean, it's pretty, I don't know if you did the light reading of the regulations, but
Yeah, it's, 100-foot setback.
yeah,
That, when the one solar farm that we're looking at, Stone Church Road, we were able to get them to almost
300.
like 400.
300 foot.
This is just the code. This is the code. The 100-foot is standard in code. The 300 was an imposed setback
Yeah.
to help modify the two districts. You had an R1, R2, and a budding district. They didn't want to impact the neighbors in the R1,
Right.
so they moved it to the 300. The 100 is pretty much, the verbiage in here is our code.
Okay.
they're pretty good.
Yeah.
See, so you want us, you need a motion to say that we agree that there should be a moratorium so we could look at these additional issues
Correct.
for 12 months
12 months.
with the possibility of extending it. And that's basically
Yeah.
the motion.
Yes.
Second,
Second the motion.
okay,
Mr. Smassenow.
yes,
Mr. Akari. Mr. Quillen.
Yes.
Chairman Terhune.
Yes. And may I have a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting?
all concur.
All right.
All right,
There we go.
welcome to the.
We're running late again.